It is painful to watch YouTube videos nowadays. Everything is bright and colorful, and every thumbnail looks the same. The colors are they're like saturated, and there's arrows pointing at things in the video that you clearly can see, but for some reason they put arrows there because not seeing with your own eyes is enough. But the beastification of things. I knew beastification was happening before it even had a name, thanks to Mr. Beast. Now, full disclosure, I'm not a fan of Mr. Beast. And usually, when people say stuff like that, like I'm not a fan of something or someone, that usually means that they hate them. But that's not the case with me. I don't hate Mr. Beast. I don't know Mr. Beast, obviously. Do you know what I mean? And it's not a hate thing. It's a criticism thing because it's very easy for someone on the outside hearing me rant right now and go like, of course, a no-name YouTuber from the ass end of Pennsylvania is going to be attacking a major name like Mr. Beast and everything he stands. It's not attacking. It's just criticizing. We all do it. We all criticize things, people, places, customs, procedures, politics, sexualities. We all question things that are bigger than us, and it can come off as we're attacking, but that's not the case with me. If I didn't like Mr. Beast, I'll just fucking say it. It's not like he's ever gonna hear it. You know what I mean? The dude's out there doing major awesome things. Supposedly awesome. When I say awesome, I mean like he's living his life to the fullest. Kid's young, way younger than I am, and he's multi-millionaire, maybe even a billionaire by now. Or if he's not, he's definitely on his way. But I don't like the fact that everything that everyone does has to have beastification in it. You know, for those that don't know what beastification is, it's pretty much everything that I described at the beginning of this video, which is the colors being saturated in thumbnails and catchy, catchy captions. Everything is tailor made to grab your attention. Everything is it's fast, it's loud, it's bright. The videos are quick and twitchy, and they always have something that'll just make you want to stop and just look. It's candy, it's sweet with no substance. Tastes good going down. You're gonna suffer the wrath later on because it's gonna fuck with your attention span. It's gonna train you to just look for these type of videos, these no substance type videos, and that's basically what they are. If I had to critique his videos, I've never fully watched any of them because he falls under the same category as other people that I specifically don't watch. And maybe it's because I'm an old fart. I'm knocking on 40's door. You got those other YouTubers that are super popular, like Mr. Beast and the SSS Sniper Girl and a bunch of other ones, to the point where they're making commercials for big names like Oreos. And I think I seen one for Capri Sun or some shit like that. I don't even remember. I probably just made that up, but it was some sort of TikTok star or something. He was like, "You probably saw me do a bunch of crazy stuff online." And I was like, "I don't know who you are, man. I really don't." And that just it makes me feel A, old, and B, out of touch, right? Like it makes me feel like should I know who this guy is? I don't know. It's weird to be a young man and listen to older people spew their gospel about how life should be lived, how, men are supposed to provide for women, and the women are supposed to cook for men, and they're supposed to be their nurturers and stuff. And it's like there is something romantic and traditional about that, but like in 2023, those days are over. That whole like women work now, apparently, in case you didn't know, and they don't have to cook now also. And equality is a gigantic thing, but whatever. Back in like our parents' day, if you're my age, that's how they were raised. Have a baby, buy a house, buy a car, work a full-time job till you drop dead. Those are all things that are slowly being phased out. And when I was younger, I used to think like, okay, that's how life is going to continue forever. And don't get me wrong, lots of people still upkeep those morals and beliefs that their parents have taught them, and it has worked well for some and it has not for others. I don't believe in any of that personally. I believe you should live your life the way you want to live your life, following simple rules. And by simple rules, I mean like as long as you don't harm nobody, as long as no one's getting hurt in any shape, way, or form, do that shit. That's my favorite line. I can't even tell you if I've heard that somewhere, if I made it up myself, but I always carry that with me. Like in my mind, I always, I don't hesitate to say that whenever I'm in a conversation with someone talking about life or whatever. I always say, as long as no one's getting hurt in any shape, way, or form, do that shit. So it's like, if you want to rent for the rest of your life, fine. You don't want to have kids, fine. You don't want to get married, fine. You don't want to buy a house, fine. You don't want to buy a car, fine. As long as you got your shit together, and as long as you're not hurting no one else. If you're living in your mom's basement and you don't have no ambitions of moving out or, starting your own, or you're starting your own life, or you don't have a girlfriend or some sort of a social life, you got to fix that, bro. That's 100% a problem. So I think to myself, like, man, I never thought I'll be this guy that sounds like an old man, because I sound like a really bitter old man attacking these young, successful millionaires that have, adoring fans from all over the world. The sniper chick and Mr. Beast, and it's not an attack, it's a criticism. That's all it is. It's I don't like the fact that YouTube has turned the way it is because of him. He's such a major star that he literally influenced the platform that he got famous on top of other platforms that have followed that same pursuit. Like the same pursuit of Mr. Beast. The beastification seems to be this formula that he created that it just brings revenue, right? Streams of income, streams of viewers come from this recipe of making everything like gotcha. Like everything has to be, loud and, like I said earlier, shiny and bright, and the captions have to be unfinished. So it leaves you wondering, what the hell was the caption gonna say? I have to click the video, and people fall for it all the time. And it's actually very surprising when I open up YouTube and I see this shit. Like, dude, even like fucking murder channels are doing this. Okay, like the ID channel, the investigation channel. I think that's what it's still called. I'm not sure. I love that shit. I've always loved murder mysteries. My favorite show in the world. I say this to everyone. They think I'm crazy, and I mean it. Forensic Files is my favorite show. I've watched like possibly every single episode from every single season, and that show's been around for a long fucking time, dog. That's a lot of seasons, and I've watched almost all of them. I would say like 90% of them, maybe even 95, whatever. What I'm saying is, when you have captions that look like, they're all beastified. That's what we're going to call them. I'm not sure if that's an actual word. I know beastification is, but beastified, whatever. I'm getting too technical. What I'm saying is, even when channels that include murder beastify their videos, that's when you know you got a problem, right? It's like 23-year-old man got killed by his wife, and then dot dot dot, and then like the photo is like his wife. The thumbnail is his wife holding a knife, and it's all like colors are all oversaturated, and there's a circle around a knife and an arrow pointing to it. And I'm like, oh my god, are you kidding me? Like, someone died, and they're making a thumbnail look like this. Like, you can't even take it serious. It's extreme. And news media outlets, these major political pundits, they do it all the time. A lot of them are on YouTube, and it sucks, man. I'm not gonna lie, it sucks that, like, I understand there are a lot, and I follow a lot of video game, surprise, a lot of video game reviewers. I've discovered AVGN on YouTube, and I never looked back. To me, that's the godfather of gaming reviews. You know, of course, they weren't serious, and they were always meant to be funny and hilarious. And he spawned just a generation of other retro video game reviewers. I should say retro because that's what he mostly specializes in. If you want to call it specialized, like he's a professional or something, but like that's mostly what he did. He did a lot of retro shit. But then you've got serious, reviewers like, Kotaku and fucking, Polygon and Game Informer, and they all have serious game reviews and all that. And Game Rants is one of them, which I enjoy. Although I feel like, I believe it's Game Rants. They kind of lean towards more of the the general consensus of their audience. So if their audience doesn't seem to like a particular game, they make sure to go with that same view when they make a video about that game. So if people didn't like Redfall, for example, they're gonna, which no one did according to what I see at least. I'm still gonna play Redfall. I haven't played it yet, but that's on the list. I don't give a fuck what people say about it. I'm gonna experience it for myself. I want to see how bad it is, because they said the same thing about other games that I played and I enjoyed. You know, Godfall was one of them. Was They shitted on Godfall? I played it. I was like, this is not a bad game at all. It's not the greatest. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little bland, but it was fun. The combat was fun. They said that about Outriders. I enjoyed the shit out that game. I actually really liked that game. And maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not. Well, it ain't maybe. It's 100% because I'm not as critical as I would say everyone else. Cyberpunk was another one they shitted on for lots of various reasons outside of gaming to business practices that were kind of shady. I'm not gonna lie, the whole them not knowing that Cyberpunk doesn't run well on last gen consoles, and they still wanted to make some money by releasing it on last gen consoles. That's my biggest complaint with us. CD Project Red, it's like that was just shady as fuck, but whatever. They didn't like Cyberpunk. I ended up playing it. It's one of the best games that I've played in years. I fucking loved it, and I can't wait for Phantom Liberty. So I can't even segue back to the original point is, but you know, because of this beastification shit, it's what I was gonna say now I remember is that some YouTubers acknowledge it. Some YouTubers they kind of bite the bullet. They go, I know that what I'm doing is a clicky thumbnail, and I know that what I'm doing is that I'm following this beastification success formula. Sounds like something you can sell, right? Call now, 3 easy payments. But lots of YouTubers gave up because they want some of them have staff, the bigger ones, the bigger channels have staff. Some of them have, they got to pay people, man. And they also have to pay to keep their production going, which, leads me to the question of like you've got lots of YouTubers who have blown up and become big, and then their workspace has gotten more professional. They had to hire actually animators and script writers and actually have an office and building. Now they got like the overhead and all this, and I understand why they want to keep everybody eating. They want to keep everybody having food on the table. They want to make sure that they support themselves as well as their staff's families. Like I understand. So in order for them to do that, they have to make these clicky, stupid, neon, bright, loud, colorful bubblegum thumbnails. And I don't like it, but that's business, right? Like when GameStop, like you can go to GameStop today and buy a game for $75, return it tomorrow, but they'll give you 40 for it if you're lucky, and that's like store credit. You might get 20 for it in actual cash. Who knows? Maybe even less. But that's those are those things that everyone knows that like that's a fucking ripoff, but it's business, right? That's at least that's the way they do business. But honestly, I think that's business in general. Is to buy low, sell high. That's business 101, regardless of what field you're in, right? Regardless of what business you're in. You just chalk it up. You go, yeah, I know. That's the nature of the beast. That's how I feel when I watch YouTube videos now. Whenever I see those, and it goes far beyond the thumbnail. I know I'm attacking the thumbnail now, but I'm also, attacking the nature of the videos themselves. A lot of videos they're fast paced. Camera angles are switching every second. The videos are like 5 minutes, but they're so cram packed and they move so fast. It's disorienting sometimes. Like I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, and it's teaching us whether it's their intention or not, whether it's YouTube intention or not, but it's teaching us to have shorter attention spans. Because good fucking luck trying to find a 20-year-old and showing them a 15-minute long video or a 10-minute long video. Good fucking luck. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that there isn't 20-year-olds out there or younger people who don't watch long form videos, right? Long form format videos. What I am saying is that most kids, they're not used to that. They're used to quick. Let's get the information out there real quick. And if you can't get the information out there real quick, this shit better be entertaining, And The videos, it's beastification is more than just thumbnails. It's also the formula of the video. And like I said, I've seen this practice outside of, you know, YouTube. It's a smart, well thought practice. I'm not a fan of it, but I can see how it works. You make everything as juicy and as scandalous, or the best ones are the negative ones, right? Everyone, you remember a negative situation more than a positive one. You can have 99 great days, but if you have one bad day, you'll remember that one bad day and forget all the other 99. That's just the way as humans are, right? In order for us to survive, we have to remember the bad things that happen to us. That way we cannot repeat that in the future, right? When things go good, we kind of just go, man, we don't care about that. Someone says a compliment, oh, that's nice. Someone says an insult, now you'll remember that shit for days, weeks, years, maybe. I'm sure there's people out there, including myself, that still remember insults that someone told them when they were kids. And like, you know what I'm saying? Half of the time, you're not even that shit anymore. Like, say you used to be fat and you lost a lot of weight, you still feel bad and be like, God damn, that person called me fat when I was 6. You know what I mean? You're like I'm fucking 30 something. I'm not even fat anymore. And that shit still hurts. Whatever. You remember these negative reinforcement. I guess that's what you might want to call it. Let me take a sip here, man. I'm going 100 miles per hour here. I had to hit the ground running, man. And I've just realized it's been 2 weeks since I put up a video. And I'm like, fuck. I keep telling myself, man, Dan, every single week. One video every single week. But this one was sneaky, man. I did have a lot of things going on. I had some drama at work. Um, and as well as I moved to a new spot. So I'm actually in a new spot. I'm still around the same old area. I'm like a little outside of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Um, no complaints. It's quiet. That's all I ask for. I'm not a big, snobby dude. Like I'm not looking for a particular place to live or anything like that. I have two things in my criteria: clean and quiet. As long as there's like no trash and no crime, because I lived in the middle of North Philadelphia, and I lived in North Philadelphia for practically all my life, and I've seen some shit. You know what I mean? Like I lived right in the inner city. That's what they call it now, the inner city. We used to call it the ghetto back then. Now the cool kids call it the hood, and then white people call it the inner city. It's the inner city. I'm like, no, it's the fucking war zone. Whatever. I digress. I don't hate it, and it's one of those things that I said earlier. Beastification. I don't like it, but I wouldn't say I hate it. Like it's not enough for me to not wanna. I'm not gonna boycott YouTube. I'm obviously recording on YouTube as we speak. You know what I mean? Like this video is gonna go out to YouTube. YouTube's still cool, although I feel like more and more people, as a matter of fact, I would go out on a limb and say that most people who record any content for YouTube want to get compensated for it. It's rare for me to find someone who makes YouTube content, whether they're successful or not, and they do it for the love. That's a rare thing. I remember when people just put videos on YouTube just because they love to put videos on there. They love the reactions of other people. They love the interactions with other people. Now it's like I want to get paid. How many views can I make? How can I beastify the fuck out of this video? Like I get it. You know what I'm saying? It has become clear that if you're a successful YouTuber, you can get compensated for it. So of course there's an incentive. You're going to be like, okay, I'm going to do everything in my power to become a big name. I want to support myself in my career for as long as I possibly can, and that's cool. That's fine. But I'm not gonna lie. There's many times where I've watched a lots of I've subscribed to lots of YouTubers that I like, and my fucking channel's all over the place. I've got real life shit. I've got news and politics. I've got video game stuff. I've got cooking stuff. I've got travel stuff. A lot of travel stuff. And I'm not gonna lie. My favorite YouTubers that I used to watch, I don't watch anymore because their fucking thumbnails are so annoying. Now, I don't know if that's me being judgmental or not, or that's just me genuinely not liking that shit. But when I see a thumbnail that's just 100% beastified, even if it's from one of my favorite YouTubers, I skip it. And I skip it intentionally because I hate that fucking thumbnail. What would you call that? Is that, am I being a hater? Or am I going like, I don't like that shit, so I'm sticking to my guns and I'm skipping it? I can't tell you anymore. Or is it option C? Am I an old fucking man? Is that what it is? I'm just an old guy now, and I don't understand new school ways. I don't understand the way the younger generation thinks. Could it be that? That could be it too. But you know what? I'm a very reflective, like I'm a very self-aware, thoughtful guy. And I don't mean thoughtful in a nice complimentary way. I mean like I spend too much fucking time in my head. That's what I mean. Like I overthink things. So I I try not to be a dick to people, but I also try not to be a pushover. It's that fine balance. As a matter of fact, earlier I mentioned some drama at work that I've had this last week or whatever. I'm not going to get into specifics, but I will say that I struggle to find that balance between still being a nice guy and still being cordial and professional, but also being like, yo, don't push me, bro. You know what I mean? Like that's a hard balance because you don't want to lean to either side too much, right? You don't want to come off as an asshole where like you get brought into the office because you're gonna physically hurt this person. You don't want to go too far left, and if you go too far right you become a coward, you become a pushover, and then they'll take advantage of you every single time. So that fine balance is what I struggle with, you know in life. It's not an easy thing. And yeah, you guys have become my therapist because obviously that's what I'm talking about, my personal life and not YouTube. It sucks, man. It sucks that people no longer make shit from the bottom of their hearts. It sucks. I don't like it. I wish there was a way, not a way, but I wish that we return to those there. Now I'm sounding like an old man. Well, gone are the days. Why can't we return back to the days where bread was 5 cents? But there is value in just doing something because you love it, right? Like I'm gonna use myself as an example because this is all I can think of right now. But like I'm not I if I get I'm not I don't intend on getting compensated for these little recordings that I'm spending my time on and then publishing them on YouTube and having like 3 people listen to them. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing this because I like talking shit. I talk shit for free. That's essentially what I'm doing now. Even when this is like, you can blame my friends. No, not blame. Sorry, that's not the word I meant to use. You can ask my friends. They'll tell you straight up. Like, I won't shut up. I have a lot to say about a lot of things. But you know what? I am also, even though I do talk a lot, I'm also the type of person to admit when they're wrong. And I'm also the type of person to not open up their mouth if I don't know anything about the subject, because that's a problem, right? We've got too much of that too. We've got too many people that don't see the full picture of whatever they're upset about, but they're just upset. So they're yelling. They're using some sort of a platform to project their voice and their anger, but they're not seeing the full side of the story. So I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, whenever I open up my mouth, I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I'm looking at both sides of the story, whether I'm talking about shit, did I just hit the space bar? Sorry, I had some technical difficulties there. I was getting a little too excited. My hands hit the space bar, and I think I stopped recording. Yeah, I try to be very thoughtful in that sense, not in a complimentary way, but in a way that I'm like I made sure that I weighed out both sides of the argument, and then I'll let you know how I feel. And unfortunately, I guess what I'm trying to say is that as corny and as old school as this may sound, is in my heart, I really do genuinely believe that if you do what you love, the rest will follow. Meaning that the rest is money, success, acclaim, prestige, all that shit. All that shit follows if you continue doing what you love first. Now, if you come in with the intention of doing something strictly for monetary gain, strictly for money, strictly for reputation, now you may succeed. That's a possible thing, or you may not. But the thing is, at the end of the day, you're not going to love what you do, right? You have to love what you do first, and then the rest shall follow. So I remember having a conversation with one of my coworkers where he was telling me he stopped doing YouTube because he used to do streams and stuff like that because he wasn't getting no subscriptions. He wasn't getting no likes. And I'm sure that's a common thing, right? Like lots of people stopped doing YouTube, stopped podcasting, stopped streaming, stopped making video game content or any other type of content because they are not getting the likes that they want, the subscriptions that they want. So they stop. And I told him what I just told you guys, or you guy, the one person who's listening to me. Do what you love first, And like I said, that sounds like some like old sitcom shit. Like how like back in where my old heads at? Like back in the day, like Full House, Family Matters, like all of these, and maybe even, for the new school generation, like the Disney shows, there's always like this segment where things get real serious, and it's like the father or the mother, like Danny, as long as you do what you love, everything else shall follow. That's what it feels like right now, and no hating on the young guys and on the sniper girl or or Mr. Beast. Like no hate, man. It's just they're out there getting it. They're doing their thing, man, and they're playing a game and they're playing it very well, right? And it's like I can't hate that. I can't hate young guys getting money. Look at they got this opportunity. They took it and they fucking ran with it, right? And whether you like it or not, they left their influence in whatever platform they chose. Whether you like it or not, they left their influence. I don't feel like it's long lasting. Sorry, it has been long lasting. I don't feel like it's going to last forever. Eventually, something or someone's going to come and rearrange YouTube the same way Mr. Beast did. And I hope that is for the better. I hope that whoever comes next and rearranges YouTube, I hope that their stuff has more substance. I hope it's not so quick and sound bitey and, you know, full of like, fake philanthropy, because I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe that Mr. Beast does all of this philanthropy, all of this money giving. I don't think he does it from the bottom of his heart. I think every single one of his videos, as well as his motives for his videos, are all for monetary gain. He wants to get the most eyes on his shit. And if he has to give away millions to do that and then potentially get millions back from the views, he's doing that. It's all business. It's not from the bottom of his heart. And that's one thing that I always tell people, like whenever we talk about Mr. Beast, no bullshit, I'm not lying to you. Just about, I would say 90% of the people that I speak to about Mr. Beast all defend him like they know him. Right? Like they're all like, "Oh, but he's a good guy. He's a good guy." And I'm like, I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm just saying that I don't believe that the shit that he's doing comes from the bottom of his heart. And that's kind of, you know, it's weird, right? It's like, okay, if you record yourself giving a homeless person $1 million, right? Everyone is going to unanimously agree that's great. That's fucking great. You did something great, and it's true. It is great. You gave somebody who is and then of ill fortune, you gave them some money, right? That's great. But the motivation, right? Why'd you do it? Like, what if I said, hey, I gave $1 million to a homeless guy, and everyone was like, wow, Danny, that's really fucking cool of you. Then I go, yeah, but I didn't do it because I love the guy or because I care about him. I did it because I want more views. Like, now that changes the dynamic, right? Now people are going to be like, wait a minute, you're kind of an asshole. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of how I feel. I don't know for sure. I'm just on the outside speculating, but it just seems to me like all this is just part of his business plan. I don't think there's no soul in his videos. I don't think there's no love. I may be wrong because I never fully watched any of his videos. So I have full disclosure. I've watched snippets of his videos and I'm like, I can't do it. But that's, once again, he makes videos like other YouTubers that are popular. They're all in the same kind of boat. And I'm like, I don't like those videos neither. So I'm not trying to just single out Mr. Beast, although this video is called Beastification. That's exactly what I'm doing. But point is, those type of videos, those fast paced, I'm on a boat and I'm gonna give $1 million to a whale. Crazy shit like that. I'm like, I don't see the fun factor, and I'm like, I don't want to see that. I don't. That doesn't interest me. And once again, I believe there's an age gap disparity. Is that the word I want to use? I believe that's a big part of it too. The fact that I we're dog the people who like these type of videos typically are younger people, typically. So yeah, it's no hate at all. It's just one of those things where it's like, you know, I I wish that whatever happens in the future is better. That's all. Whoever decides to, you know, turn YouTube upside down on its head, I hope that it's better. It's more substance and people start following that. And maybe if the gods smile on us, maybe people will come back to just making videos because they love them. And then, if something great happens after they make a video that they love, like fame or money, great, but, I'm one guy with obviously antiquated views. I'm still navigating this wild digital world, and I guess we all are too. But at least I'm not doing it with ill intent. Although this video, some people may get that vibe, like I was attacking, or but that's not the case. I'm not moving with hate in my heart. I'm not moving with negativity. I'm not moving with just being pessimistic about the future or about people. Yeah, there are some things I don't like. Yeah, I have some criticisms and I'm vocal about them, but there's no hate. At the end of the day, everyone gets a hug, everyone gets a handshake, and unless you're a fucking asshole, in that case, then you get nothing. But for the most part, I meet way more good people than I do meet assholes. Yes, I do meet assholes, but I also mostly meet good people. Most of my life is good. The majority of my life is good. Every now and then I meet someone terrible or something terrible happens to me or someone that I know. But luckily, I live in a situation in my life where things are pretty good for the most part, you know. So I don't have no hate. Maybe that's part of it. But I didn't come from a rich background. I came from the fucking streets. You know what I mean? Like maybe that's just something I had to teach myself. But whatever. I don't have any hidden motives. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I just want things to get better, not only with YouTube, just in general with video games. This video obviously has not been about video games, kind of loosely based, whatever. But just also, I want more history too. Let me throw this in there before I get out of here. Like, I wish that the younger folk learned a little more about history. And what I mean, like, there's lots of things that are coming back now, right? Just like in our parents' age, right? Like where old things started to come back, our parents were thrilled because they're like, "Wow, when I was a kid, I used to do that." And they want to teach their kids all about it. It's, I can't believe this came back. I thought this was never going to come back, but here we are. Look, let me show you my original thing. And they're like, "Wow, you actually really did have one." That's how I feel with like video games, right? Like just recently, I gave a box of my old Nintendo with like over 50 something games, right? My old Nintendo Entertainment System. Man, I had Zelda on there, the gold tape one. I've had Double Dragon. I've had fucking you name it, Metroid. I had all these cool ass games in there, and I gave it away. I didn't want to. That one hurt. That one hurt because, but I got to practice what I preach. That shit was sitting in my closet for over 2 years. I have not, maybe 3 years. I have not even opened it up to turn it on or anything. I'm gonna give this away to someone who I know would definitely use it. I didn't even sell it. I just gave it away to one of my friends, and her daughter is interested in playing old games. She wants to see what the old Zelda was like because I believe she likes Zelda. And I was like, that's so cool, man. Like, I wish I was there to kind of guide the kid. Like, hey, back in my day, we had to fucking blow on this tape and put it inside the Nintendo. And, here you are playing on your Switch, the new Zelda. Like, it came from this. This is where all it came from. Like, that shit blows my mind. And I love it, and that's one thing that I want to throw into the mix. I hope that in the future, whoever does revolutionize things also puts emphasis on history. Although I will say though that there is a young kid, maybe he's the exception. You tell me. There is a young kid that I work with who is interested in history, and he's like 22 or something like that. And I remember he was telling me about the Bermuda Triangle and about how damn, what was the other thing he was telling me? And the Bermuda Triangle was something that I knew very much about because I was very interested when I was younger. And it was cool. I felt like a proud dad. I was like there smiling and shit, and the wind was blowing, and there was like trumpets in the background and shit. And I was just like, that's cool, man. That it's rare to see someone young give a shit about history. Anyways, old man out. Get out of here. Go exercise because I got to do that to live. Even though I just ate an ice cream bar. See you guys. Peace.